Oh, we're all here. Matthew did an oopsie.
I did. I oopsed the crap out of it.
We're all here at the same time. There goes my epic solo intro.
Hang on, I'll hide us. We can still do this.
It's
shit, wrong one.
Matt doesn't know what he's. Usually it's LA who just screws up everything. But it seems like today Matt has taken on the role of not being able to plug in a lamp. That's fine. Anywho's, welcome to, I don't know what episode it is of the Sitch show. I think we're well past all of, I don't even know anymore. But anywho's, we're going to talk about, obviously, events that are happening around the world, which is typically something that we do. And you guys all have questions. So feel free to ask questions about events happening wherever you are in the world. And we'll dive into them. We'll talk about our predictions that we've been kind of going through and them now adding some light to that. And then at the end of it, if you've never been here before, Matt and LA will take on some intuitive readings for a few lucky people in our chat. So anyways, I'll bring in Matthew Stapley since you just saw him anyway, and LA Jean-Baptiste. Dun, 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 dun. Where's LA?
I'm right here. Hi, everyone.
So this is a first where LA's microphone actually works for the first time. And Matt, I mean, what is happening with you? It looks like your new desk placement has completely shifted your train of thought.
Apparently, yeah. Like I'm usually at this point, I've normally got like 5 microphone manuals in front of me for LA, and I've got and no, it's true. I totally hit the wrong buttons for sure.
This is just an eventful. It's gonna be an eventful show. I mean,
it's gonna be something.
Yeah,
it's gonna be something.
So, I mean, a lot of people. We already have a question here from Judy. What's happening with COVID vaccines? I think that's going to be a very popular question for the next little bit. Anyway, ooh, South Africa's here.
Well, so around 9:00 on South Africa. I have friends there.
Yeah, we'll talk about. I want to point out. So, LA back in, I think it was probably like October, or November, had said something about the new year and the spring, specifically. He thought around April would be a lockdown. I thought he was a bit crazy. Well, I do think he's crazy.
But I am.
I thought his prediction was a little crazy. And then I misread December because I said that there would be a change or communication with borders. There was, just not the way we wanted it. But then I said first week of March, there'd be communication. Second week of March, there'll be communication of another lockdown. And pretty sure next week in Ontario anyway, especially for Ottawa, we're going to get an axe thrown down on us. And I think we're going to go to red. I think that'll come out next week. And then we'll see if all of our LA, Matt and I, if we're correct on April just being like.
Well, the sewers are getting full of COVID, so that's a positive sign, isn't it?
Everyone stop shitting.
I know.
Problem. Shit in a bucket.
No more before it turns into a S show or whatever.
Shit-demic.
I think Matt was waiting for that one.
They're
starting already with the vaccine. Here we go.
Does red mean no? I don't know if red. So there was some changes with the red zone in Ontario. So gyms can stay open with a maximum of 10 people. Restaurants can stay open with a maximum of 10 people. Hair salons can remain open with a limited amount of people. But I think as soon as we hit gray, that's where everything kind of just shuts down again. As schools, I don't see mid-April forward. I don't see kids being back in school. What do you guys get with that?
In where?
I say mid-April, and kids won't be going back.
Well, for my son, he's here till I don't see him going back till probably September even. So for me to look at some kids, I would say the problem is they do it different places, do different things. So if you look on the Quebec side, they don't. I don't want to be mean, but
for me, Ottawa,
just go to school, man.
I think in Ottawa, by mid-April. No.
So I'm looking in gray right now. And do you know what I find? Let me just double check this because I'm like, really, really surprised.
What?
Okay, so we have to get all the way to gray for bathhouses and sex clubs to close.
What?
Yeah,
What?
That's
like
in there?
yeah, like actually, and not
Where do you
until
get
we hit
that?
gray, not until we hit on the Ontario.ca, like it's actually on there.
Does
So
it
that's in, yeah,
does it specifically name bathhouses? Because that's
yes, I
fantastic.
will. I will tell you. Bathhouses and sex clubs closed only when it's gray. In red, apparently, it's fine. Um, do you guys remember back in was it late spring when British Columbia was putting out their recommendations for how to slow the spread of COVID, and they
Yeah.
actually put in glory hole glory holes instead of other methods of having fun in there.
Okay, no, I wasn't aware of that, but thank you.
They
I'd love
no
the.
they absolutely did.
I love being on top of the news. Like,
Pray,
break
pray
grade never
for
happens. Actually, there's people from all over UK also. So, um,
I just
in
went.
terms of people asking for the vaccines, if you take it, if you have COVID, I think the best advice is to ask a doctor. From my understanding, if you're sick, you can't go have a vaccine on top of
Hey,
it.
buddy.
That's just for the flu. So I would think that they're going to do the same for COVID. But the best thing would be to ask your doctor. I'm not even sure where they are in terms of vaccine around here. In the UK, are they still in, Allison, are they still in lockdown? I know you guys are
He wants to
accelerating.
open it all up.
Yeah, I
That
think they're
Boris guy is just like,
accelerating that.
he just wants to open it, just like Texas did.
Speaking of Texas, first they let him freeze to death. Now they're like,
guys,
you know what? Forget masks,
Yeah.
man. There's no
Horse-
electricity. We don't need them.
Horse racing has its own entire category in the gray zone.
What?
There's an entire section specifically on horse racing.
What does it say?
Training only, no races, no spectators. Well, I mean, it makes sense. That sounds so similar to the bathhouses and sex club thing.
There's horses in bathhouses and sex horse. What?
Never.
What
Yeah.
did he say?
No,
You can go to a bathhouse and ride a horse at the same time.
and strip club is in there, but it's not in any other one, so it only closes. Okay, no, they're permitted to open if they operate as a restaurant in gray.
Go have some
This-
chicken wings, watch someone whip around on a pole.
No, you can't because it's only as a restaurant. So I think that means that you're not. I guess you're just going to watch.
So
French
you're not
fries.
getting a lap dance, you're strictly eating chicken wings.
Yeah, I just sent it to you guys in the chat. This whole article in case, and I'll post it in the. This is
You.
This is.
I'm sure I'm going to go to a strip club during COVID.
You'd be surprised.
There.
Western Australia. If you look at Karen here, she says vacations here in Western Australia. I think some of them are doing there. Oh, interesting.
Tammy says, race your horses to the bathhouse while naked, except for in the gray zone, Tammy. You can do it any other red, no problem.
Yep,
Second
gray.
gray. Yeah.
Okay, do it.
Yeah, and so I'm assuming that somewhere in Ontario there will be a bathhouse operator who will say, maybe we could turn this into a restaurant, and they'll just start making giant amounts of ramen noodles or something like that, and that will be their way staying open. I don't know.
Allison, I want to know where Allison Gaydon's from. She says, but we have a roadmap. We have a roadmap where they're opening the country bit by bit. I'd like to know where you're from.
She's from the UK. I just mentioned in terms of the vaccine, I think they're rolling it out pretty well down there right now.
Yeah, here in Canada, our government doesn't know what they're doing.
It's up, down, close, open.
Let's close for a bit. Let's see what happens, and then let's just reopen.
Yeah. Seriously.
That's pretty much it.
Bathhouse ramen.
Let's reopen everything with the same numbers as we had when we closed. That sounds like a good idea.
I like it. All right. So, what should we talk about?
So let's switch it up from COVID because we talk about
this
COVID.
has been like the COVID show.
It should be the COVID show.
It should be the COVID show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything. I mean, we're almost kind of impacted with COVID every day. Like, let's say I know you don't watch hockey, but if you look at the NHL, I know for me, I don't really watch hockey anymore because due to COVID, the Canadian teams are stuck up here in Canada. The American teams are stuck in the States. So you're not seeing like Ottawa versus Boston. You're literally watching Ottawa play the Leafs like 20 times.
Can they do like split screens on your TV? They play up here, Canadians, and the US play. Oh no, no interaction. No, that wouldn't work. You're right.
Okay. So watching sports is like a whole other. I don't know. I appreciate the fact that sports are slowly coming back onto TV, but when you're constantly seeing your teams play the same teams over and over again, it kind of gets redundant. So the rivalry between the Leafs and the Senators, or the Leafs against the Habs, like it's fun at the beginning, but now it's like every week. So it's the Sens suck this year. Like the Sens are just absolute garbage. But yeah, so I don't know if anyone in here watches hockey or anything. And baseball, spring season is coming up to play. Luckily, they're all down in Florida for much of their spring season training. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with baseball because we have the Toronto Blue Jays.
I went to a baseball game once.
This one time with Diamond behind my house watching T-ball.
I saw the Diamond when I go to Best Buy across the street. There's a huge thing for baseball there, I think.
I actually did. I went to a Lynx game when I was very young, and I cried because I didn't get the ball.
Lynx.
I did. That was
I've done that. I know them, the Lynx.
Yeah, and then as a kid, my dad and grandfather and me would always go to the Ottawa 67s game every week.
See, 67s, those are
fun
games, actually.
Yeah, I don't even know how hockey happens, but I definitely enjoy that because they had pretzels, and I got to hang out with my dad and my grandfather.
Yeah.
So it was cool.
The 67s, I find the 67s games are a lot more fun than Sens games. The kids playing don't get huge paychecks because they're trying to make it to the NHL, so they're constantly busting ass to have a good game. But there's a lot of like fun. I know it's a lot of family fun, but it's just there's more liveliness, I think, with the OHL versus NHL. But I'm going to be interested to see this year what it's like for baseball because last year we couldn't go watch any baseball games. This year they're saying maybe because the season doesn't really start until like June, July, really, in Toronto. And Toronto's our only Canadian baseball team.
What if we ask people here that are from around the world? We have people from, let's see here. Well, Calgary, that's Canada. There's Chicago, there's UK, there's what else?
And it's not sucking as some years.
South
the only
Africa.
reason why they're not sucking as some years is because they're only playing Canadian teams. They're not playing any American teams.
Okay.
There anybody from around the world? Australia. I saw Australia a while ago.
What is this?
Wait, what are we asking here? Here's one for you. Our governor in Colorado is implementing a day of no beef. Why is he implementing a day of no beef?
I have to look this up.
I want to know. When
why?
I read that, I'm like, what?
Coming from a carnivore who all I eat is meat, I would die. I would do a 24-hour fast. Actually, I wouldn't listen to him. I'd still eat. But like, what is the point of that? And don't tell me that it's because cows or animals create more greenhouse gases and whatever, and you're going to try and get your population to go vegan. That's complete bullshit.
This is a very strange thing.
Like, what are you going to do? Eat an orange all day? You can only eat oranges on this day. No meat.
Interesting.
What?
So it's actually just meat in general.
No, it's I would have the biggest steak on that day.
It's very strange. What
are they going to do about McDonald's? They're going to shut it down for the whole day.
Is basically
right?
Isn't McDonald's beef? Not that I remember.
Probably partially anyway.
Partially beef.
Like probably.
Like Soylent Green. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to prevent all these local businesses that serve like steakhouses, or are you just going to like make them
so weird?
Like, that's stupid.
It's very bizarre. Like, very strange. All right. The world is officially glitter will not fix this. I just read 4 news headlines and saw amazing comments in our chat, and I've come to the conclusion that no amount of glitter is going to make a difference. And for me to say that, it's got to be pretty dire for sure.
Who understands some people, especially people in power, they make some of the most ridiculous statement. It's like, what is the purpose of that? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, okay. So sports. That was a short topic because none of you fucking watch sports. So sports is weird. COVID's weird. Travel. So what's interesting about travel is that some areas of the world are super open with travel, and then much of the world is still pretty closed down when it comes to travel. And what I find interesting is that I hold Norwegian Cruise Line stocks, and they're still like, they had a bad day yesterday, but they're still climbing, which is hilarious to me. So I'm like, who's going on a cruise? What? Huh? And then like air travel, I know Air Canada, I mean, they're kind of getting a lot of help here from the government. And they just bought Air Transat, which is crazy. I'm like, how did you buy another airline in the middle of a pandemic?
Cheaper.
Yeah, but then they're saying that they don't want to refund people who have wanted a refund for a year. Like, you're going to go buy Air Transat.
Remember that those negotiations started a long, long time ago.
Oh, I know, but still, it looks bad. Like, I'm going to go buy a fucking airline called Air Transat, but your $500 ticket, we're just going to credit you. We're not going to give you a refund. We'll just keep it on file. So when you want to book in 2 years from now, it'll just be there. It just doesn't look good. It's not a good look.
That's true. Where else is there? Are there anywhere else in the world that people are allowed to actually go in and out, or is it mostly closed? Let's see here. Let's check what we have. Quebec's a big note for travel. That's correct. I don't even go see my mom.
The restrictions in China are absolutely like insane. If you fly to China, you are, well, first, if you don't have a specific kind of passport, you're not getting in. But if you do get in, you have to quarantine for like 3 weeks. They're not messing around.
Yeah, because they don't. They're yeah. Well, it's a communist country, right? If somebody says no, it's no. There's no. Well, let's negotiate this. Let's negotiate that. What do you think? Let me call some businesses. No, because the idea is to shut everything, like New Zealand. Shut it, and so that it kills it, and then start doing stuff again, right?
Yeah.
So
Canada and the United States.
Anytime you travel anywhere, it just spreads. It doesn't. We're going to be in new variants, right?
Yeah, but I mean, even if you look at Canada and the United States, what Canada and the United States are doing to control the virus is just, I know we're going back on COVID, but it's a complete shit show. It's just not going to. In North America, I think we're going to have to learn how to live with it for a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Somebody said here, it went away. Australia and New Zealand are allowed to travel between each other. That's interesting.
That's good, though. I mean, if they don't have any cases, open up the travel, let people do their thing.
So another place, let's see here. Karen, I forgot where she's from. She said, quarantine for 14 days when you go and come out.
Hold on here. Kimberly McCord, we're not allowed to travel to Florida. Florida isn't letting none of us in. They canceled my trip last week. Kimberly, where are you from?
Whoa. Yeah, seriously.
Because Florida is, my girlfriend's from Florida, and they pretty much do whatever the fuck they want to do down there. So I'm interested to see who's not letting people in Florida.
Yeah, that's very strange because that's the opposite of what I've heard.
Yeah, you do have a quarantine measure though. So you do have a 10-day because of Biden. If you fly into, like, if being a Canadian, if I flew to Florida, I'd have to quarantine for 10 days unless I can provide 2 negative COVID tests within that 10 days. I can leave early. And then they're in Chicago, Illinois.
Can you?
So I'm pretty sure they introduced a quarantine.
So I'm looking up at the. Yeah, I can't find anything on the visitflorida.com that talks about.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Any restrictions of going there.
Well, there's just a COVID measure put in place. Are they enforcing it? Probably not, but there's a 10-day quarantine for when you fly in Florida. And I know that
He said people from some of his friends from Chicago are going to Florida.
Yeah. So maybe it was a safety measure for whoever was flying with, but you definitely have to quarantine for 10 days.
Yeah,
that's quarantine in Walt Disney.
Friend that just went to Florida for work, and she's still there. Yeah, but I think slowly things will start to open up for travel, and I think it'll be good for a lot of people wanting to get out. I don't think it'll really start to open up maybe till this like midsummer into August. So things will get slow, I think, from June, July will be really slow, and then August will start to pick up a little bit more. I think the government's going to realize that they can't just like shut the entire world down anymore.
Yeah, I think that's coming sooner than later. Like, I'm going to stick to what I saw at the beginning of this, that by the end of this year, it's not going to be nearly the issue that it is right now.
Yeah.
I keep getting that. So either the world is like totally over or we're going to have ways of living with it or treating it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I definitely have this, I've had the feeling since it started, like by the end of 2021, it would not be what it is now, especially.
Yeah. What is this? I had the vaccine. A month later, I got COVID. What? I had a vaccine, and a month later, I got COVID. Came out of isolation. What?
She said she had the vaccine, and a month later, she got COVID anyways, and she just came out of isolation last Thursday.
Did you have both? Do you know what vaccine you had?
And did you have both doses?
And did you have both doses? That's what I'm curious about. But you know what? I will say, my good friend Tammy is like super knowledgeable about all of this stuff, and she said something that I totally believe to be true, especially at a psychic level, and it's that the vaccine will not prevent you from getting it necessarily. It will just make it way less bad. It's like a prophylactic treatment, but not necessarily a true vaccine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently, they're saying that they have no effect on the South African virus.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah,
I heard
the problem
something
is
like
that variant is not going too well.
No, I wonder though if if it's true that COVID-19 is losing viral dominance, so that means that it will not be able to. It won't be the big thing anymore.
I see it as going away.
I think it will too, and I don't even know that all the vaccines have a whole lot to do with it going away either. That's the weirdest part about it. Like,
yeah, I think it's killing itself off.
I'm talking just truly psychically. Yeah. Like, I don't necessarily think that it will be a only result of that. I think that might be part of it, but I don't think that's all of it.
I want to know if anyone has bought a vehicle during COVID, and if they did they get a really amazing deal on a vehicle? Because I'm just saying. And if you look at so prices of housing here anyway in Ottawa are just going through the roof because the cost of lumber is about 4 times the amount for a new home. And then obviously cost of new homes will inflate other homes. So the cost of homes are just crazy. But I'm wondering who here has actually benefited from purchasing a new vehicle during COVID, and if there was any difference in either interest rates or if you got a really good deal on the vehicle to move them, because I don't think too many people are buying new vehicles during a pandemic.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Actually, let's check. I think some at the beginning of the year when it closed it. Let's see here.
I know a buddy of mine got a truck. I don't know if I don't know what kind of deal he got on it, but. And a lot of automakers too. I was looking at, I love cars for those of you that don't know. I was looking at the Jeep SRT Grand Cherokee. The thing's a beast. And because we had the last year, 2020 was pretty much a wash. They didn't even make a 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. They went straight to 2022. They completely just went over an entire year with the vehicle. So it was interesting to see that a lot of vehicle manufacturers have actually just either went half production on a line of vehicles, or just said fuck it and skipped right till 2022. So there's going to be a bunch of people wanting to buy used cars, searching for 2021 models, but there's not going to be that many because they didn't make that much. We got a truck in 2020, end of March. Ooh, just when it was kicking in. Wasn't brand new, but got a 2011 Mustang on a good deal. My car payment is low and low interest rate. Bought a new pickup truck, no deal, but the interest rate was low. That's what I figured. I figured that the interest rates would be really low because of the banks and everything.
Oh my God.
Over here, governments are offering a first-time buyer's grant of $64,000 for everyone who's buying a house here. Karen George, where is that?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, where are we moving to, Karen?
That's really insane, to be honest.
That's crazy. Meanwhile,
I'd love to be a promoter for that.
my girlfriend's trying to buy a condo in Florida, and she was telling me about how in Florida their credit rates, how they go up and down, and I'm like, they make, geez, my dog's going crazy. They make no sense. To build your credit in a certain way in Florida is like so ass backwards compared to us. It's insane. Hey, buddy, are you trying to be on? Did you have something to say? No? Okay. Allison, our governments are getting banks to accept 5% deposit. First-time home buyers in the UK.
Actually, from this research,
Western Australia, that's where she's from.
I just found the auto market's pretty resilient. It's going up in China like crazy. Plus, a lot of companies like Ford, GM are aiming for electric vehicles to be at the top of their list for until 2035, I believe.
Here's the thing that I don't understand about electric vehicles. One, Ford just came out with the Mach-E, which is pretty much an SUV version of a Mustang. It's all electric. It looks nice. I mean, I'll probably get in it and see all the cheapness of it because it is a Ford, let's be honest here. But the thing I don't understand is a lot of these companies are like, we're going to go green. We're going to have all these electric vehicles. Okay, so what happens at year 4 or year 5 when the batteries need to be replaced? So now it's a huge expense on the individual to replace, and I'm talking thousands of dollars to replace the batteries. And then where are you going to put these dead batteries? How are you going to properly recycle all of this without screwing the earth up?
Okay, I have the answer.
Go.
Recycling batteries. There's companies actually in Montreal that are doing that. And there are some also, I believe, in Iceland. Tesla is working on it. But there's a lot of companies coming up that do recycle batteries for Tesla and other vehicles like that. So
then if that's what we're going to do, and we're going to recycle all these batteries, what are we going to do for Joe Smith, who buys a $30,000 electric vehicle and then, or a used one? Joe Smith goes and buys a 3-year-old used Mach-E because he's like, this looks really cool, buys it for say 20 grand. And then the next year or 2 years after, batteries go on it. Warranty doesn't cover all of the stuff in regards to the battery. So now this individual is stuck paying about $8,000 to replace a module in the battery.
But think about no gas, no oil, no dependency on oil.
Of course you're going to need oil. You are going to need oil.
Why?
What do you think lubes your brakes?
Not gas. Sorry, I meant gas, not oil.
But still, you're still going to oil, gas, oil. You're still going to need that
less,
shit.
Right? You'll have less. You'll need less. The other thing is we're going to use all the minerals or, all the precious metals like lithium, and there'll be nothing left. So, it's only one thing for another. The environment will be probably a bit cleaner, but
by the time the battery dies on the thing, they're not going to be able to save that amount of money on gas because don't forget, you're still charging it, so you still have a hydro fee. You're going to have to go to a charge station if you're on a road trip for 20 minutes for a fucking battery drip. So there's that. So you have to pay for that. So it's not like you're going gas free. You're still paying for the hydro of it. So if you have to replace a big module for like $8,000, $10,000 on this thing, is it really worth it to go fully electric?
I don't
think it is.
If you get into a Tesla and you floor it, it feels like you're in a rocket.
You gave me whiplash last year. I'm well aware. You were on ludicrous mode. However, if I look at a normal human being with a regular 9 to 5 making like a regular wage, there's no way they're going to be able to afford an electric vehicle.
I've seen some of those.
They're going to be, especially a lot of people that want to just buy a car and drive it into the ground for 10
They're
years
like
and not have a car
50,000. I
payment.
think Tesla's like 60,000 now.
Some people can't even afford a $10,000 car.
Oh. Then they won't have one. What? They'll buy a used one with recycled batteries. There you go.
Yeah.
I found the solution. There's always a solution.
Sure. So then they're going to pay about $1,200 to have the proper outlet put in their garage if they have one. So they're going to do that, and then they're going to have to replace a bunch of shit on an electric vehicle, which is not cheap. And
No, it's like crazy expensive to do that.
Yeah. So I think all these manufacturers going straight electric are doing a disservice to people.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that completely. No, it's just crazy. Like I wish that. Oh, did you guys hear about the thing where they're going to try and put calcium carbonate into the stratosphere to block out some of the sun rays?
They're
Wait,
gonna
what?
Oh, you didn't hear about that? Okay.
No.
So,
but I like how
Yeah.
excited you are.
Did you
about it.
hear about the calcium solarate going in the atmosphere? Like,
no, seriously. Okay, so they're like, all right, we need to cut down on carbon. So they're like, we've screwed up the stuff up there, and now we're getting all kinds of like rays and with other rays mixed in with it, and they're like, okay, how can we fix this? Obviously, treating the earth better is not an option because that takes too much work. So a team at Harvard is figuring out how to inject calcium carbonate, which is the same stuff that's in like Tums and stuff like that, into the stratosphere so that it creates this protective shield around the earth rather than just doing something good for the earth and maybe like not polluting it so terribly.
What did you call it?
That's
Calcium what?
calcium carbonate. It's what's in
Not made
Tums
for
and
cement.
antacid.
Oh, no. Okay, sorry. That's calcium.
yeah, but then what would that do to the health of humans who are living on this planet, breathing this shit in all the time?
You won't have any more stomach aches
Heartburn?
or heartburn.
Like,
Yeah. No, but
You'll
it's just
breathe
like
it in.
it's just so
Oh
weird.
my God, my tummy feels so good. I can eat whatever I want.
I think it's one of the most amazing examples of like sweep what we've done badly under the rug and keep doing it and then just try and fix it.
and just throw Tums in the air.
Just throw Tums in the air. That's basically what that is. That's basically that's exactly what they're doing. They're like, let's put antacids into the stratosphere. I mean, it's just like Tammy says it makes us all basic. I know, Tammy. The aliens in outer space are going to look at Earth through their advanced telescope and say that is one basic bitch planet. In case anybody's wondering, calcium carbonate is basic. So at a chemical level, it's a base. So
Did you
Tammy
guys,
is
so since you're being an alien right now, did you see the stuff with Mars?
The rover?
Yeah, we got on Mars.
Yeah, last week we mentioned
And
it.
it's picking up samples of what used to be a lake or a water mass, and it's picking up samples and putting it in this little thing that the robot does, and then it's going to be sent back to Earth.
How's it coming back?
It's there's supposed to be another one, I think, landing or some shit.
How long is it supposed to be on Mars for? Do you know?
Cool.
That's what
it's going to be there for like ever. So it was designed to stay there for, I think it was like a year or 2 years, if not longer. But there's 2 other robots that were sent there. They were only supposed to have a life expectancy of a few months, and one's been there for like 12 years or something.
Yeah, the first rover. Yeah. Is it still sending
stuff where the Transformers are from? Oh no, that's the
Weird Images. But I've been watching the new one. The new one's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really interesting. It's neat because like it looks like that, it looks like it's just a barren area of Earth. Why people would want to live there, I don't know. Because you can't breathe the air.
It'll be interesting to see if the stuff that they pick up, if it shows any remains from like any past life that may have been there.
Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be amazing.
So cool.
Like, and not only like amoebas, but like real intelligent like us.
Yeah.
It'd be very cool to find that out.
And they were saying too, because I was wondering, I'm not a fucking astronaut, but I was wondering, like, if we can get a robot there and we've been on the moon before, wouldn't it be cool if we can get an astronaut to
I'm sure we could
put their feet down? But they were saying one of the things they said was before even that robot thing landed on Mars, they actually had it so heated in a capsule that it killed off any microbes from Earth, so that when it lands onto Mars, there's no microbes from Earth that could potentially kill anything. So they're like, if we try to do it with a human, we might contaminate the planet.
It's true. That's actually surprisingly responsible.
Right?
That's surprisingly responsible for our planet. Like that is there's definitely some good ecologists like on that team that
that's
actually
in their way of getting cremated. Now that I think
other it would be. And the only way that would be kind of weird and funny if someone was cool with it was if everyone was singing Great Balls of Fire at a funeral song.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was neat. But anyway, I'm interested to see if they bring back anything. But at the same time, when they're saying this, I said, if anyone on this planet thinks that we're the only planet with beings of any kind on it, you're out to lunch.
Yeah.
There has to be other life, like UFO sightings, alien projects. Like there is. What planet they're from, who the fuck knows? But to sit here and look up at the sky and think that we're the only things in the universe that live, come on.
Ashley, have you seen the movie with Jodie Foster, Contact? I think it's Contact.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that her character's way of explaining it is beautiful. And it said, if we were the only ones here, wouldn't it be an awful waste of space? And I think it's just, it actually is completely not logical that we would be the only beings in the whole universe. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
Do we have
We do. I just saw them. I will go in.
I did ban from page. Is that how you do it?
Oh, you got it?
I think so. I did ban from page. Ban from page.
I'm impressed, LA. Let's see if I can still see. I'll do it too. I think they have been smited. All right.
Every single time. Good eye, Tammy.
Good eye. Right. The sketch basket is gone.
Too funny. Yeah, earlier before we had this one, there was another weird one. I blocked and got rid of it.
Nicole said, I just watched The Earth from Space. Very interesting. For those of you, I'm not sure if, well, that's probably worldwide anyways. If you have a Oculus or a virtual reality headset and you actually take those, their apps or whatever they are, in the Oculus or VR or anything virtual reality, you can actually be in some of those in which you see the Earth and the whole solar system. It is absolutely insane.
Oculus.
I'm like,
you tried it at my house, right? A while ago.
I know. Just like when you say Oculus.
Yeah. And there's the space station. The space station is pretty cool. You're flying in and it feels so real.
I know.
First time I tried it, I almost gave up after like 2-3 minutes.
You put me in the space station.
Yeah, I remember. That was
I was like flying off the things.
The only virtual reality thing I'd ever done. Remember at Saint Laurent Mall way back in the day?
Oh, the big white things?
No, not even. No, I'm going even further back. So yeah, there was that like kind of arcade thing there for a while. Cyberdome, I think it was called.
Yeah.
And there was like these weird two things, and both people would get in their own things, and they would put this headset on. That was giant headset, and I think they had guns, and they were in this like weird ring thing, and that was like virtual reality. Back in the day. But really, I think it looked kind of like probably like an N64 kind of level of graphics. Yeah, I remember that.
Funny, I missed that stuff.
I feel so old.
Yeah, I miss Laser Quest. Laser Quest was fun.
Laser Quest is. I have
Laser Quest. Yeah, I know that.
My dogs are going crazy right now.
All right, so it is that.
All right, we're gonna go into some readings. Reading. You have 15 minutes. So, yeah, buddy, I know you're excited.
Oh my God, the time.
Yeah, you're excited. So rules: don't write anything for me with little to no detail because I will just come up with some random shit to say to you. And so, if you want a reading, please be specific. Are we doing mediumship ones?
If LA wants to, he can't.
Maybe
I'm honestly
depends.
so
We had like
tired
15
today.
minutes. We ran
So
over.
we'll do this. If you want a super specific reading when it comes to mediumship, I know Matt has a wait list and stuff, but you can try to book in with them for like the super like specific ones. But if you have regular questions where we're not trying to pin someone who's passed, then feel free to ask, but be a little bit specific on your question. Don't just say whatever. And then we'll pick you. We'll put your question on the screen, and then Matt and Elaine, if I feel like having 2 cents, then we will answer your questions. Patricia Henson, what's
Those
up?
of you who want a reading from me later on, please just mention that you are on the show because I just do referrals for now.
Yeah,
June.
kind of a big deal. Patricia, if you have a question, make sure you write a full question. Because if you say I would love a reading, I'm just going to tell you the most random shit that's so inaccurate that
Just don't listen to her is what she's trying to
you're just
say.
going to hate me. All right, so we'll give it like 30 seconds. We'll see what queues up, and then we'll pick some questions.
If anyone is wondering, and I see there's Megan is wondering, if you're wondering if your loved ones are with you, I can promise you the answer is always yes, always. That will never, ever, ever be a no. Yes. Ever. Doesn't matter. And if you go to a medium and they say no, fucking run. Like get dramatic, rip the money up and confetti it, and just fucking bolt out that door. Because the same as if they tell you your loved ones are disappointed or mad at you, like get the F out of there. It is bullshit. With a capital B and a capital shit.
We should say that if someone does go for a reading and they don't necessarily have any messages, it doesn't mean that their loved ones aren't there. It means they just have nothing to tell them at the time.
Or they're not the right medium to bring the message through.
Or valid.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
Let's see what we got here. It went all the way up. I want to try and pick a name that we haven't really seen too much of. Oh, shit. Hi, everyone. There was one that I really liked. Where'd it go?
If you're asking questions regarding to somebody else, maybe their name will help.
I can run through a few quickly if you guys want.
Yeah, do it. If you have one, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just find it again. Okay. Karen George, do you see if I will get any of my money back from this man I was talking to? I do the police investigating it. I do not feel like you will. Or if you do, it's definitely not now. But I've got a really on edge feeling about it. I don't necessarily think so, Karen, unfortunately.
Agreed.
Sorry, I get immediately my tongue goes down, unfortunately. But just a second, where is she? Maybe we could give her some positive stuff at the same time. Oh, just go through it. But again, watch your health during this process because there'll be ups and downs, and just look at what really is the most important for you thing for you right now, apart from the money. Because again, myself, I don't sense it.
It's a learning lesson.
Mm-hmm. Generic says my wedding has been postponed to the 11th of December 2021. Will be presented again to a later date. I feel like your wedding will not be postponed to a later date.
Again, the thumbs down. It's going to be, it looks like the fall. Small group.
Yes. My daughter Kaylin is going for an MRI for next Friday. She's going to be. I feel like she will be absolutely be okay. Samantha, they're showing me that this will be kind of a 2-part thing. So I feel like when she goes for her MRI on Friday or next Friday, I get the feeling that there will be not a lot they come back with. In fact, I think it's going to be almost a little bit anticlimactic where you're kind of expecting, some big announcement to be made by these doctors. And I feel like it won't be that intense. I do feel like they're going to repeat this in the early fall. So that would put me at the end of August, beginning of September. But I still feel like she's going to be okay. In December, I do see another trip to the doctor with this. And I feel like at that point, they're going to have more things, more options, or there's going to be a little bit more to make decisions on. But overall, I do think she's going to be okay, Samantha.
I
Yeah.
see something more in about 6 months from now, more results regarding that. I'm thinking this time we'll give you some, but there'll be something else coming along. But again, um, from what I can sense, it looks about stable from that point. So, you know, stay positive until then, and talking to your daughter in a positive sense and being optimistic is what I'm getting at. That's it. Sorry. The image just left.
Um, Casey
That's a good one.
Pallihanmore says, Patricia Hansen, I was going to ask if I'm going to get a girlfriend specific enough. Casey, I do feel like you're going to get a girlfriend, yes. I don't think it's unfortunately super, super immediate, like this month or next month. I do see the potential starting to show up in the month of August for you. And the reason I say starting to show up is I feel like at that time you will be in the place mentally and emotionally to develop a relationship in a very solid way. And I feel like at that time opportunities begin to present themselves for this to happen for you. And that's all I can get on, unfortunately. And I think part of it too, when we're asking about love life, we can give like timings of windows of opportunity and things like that. But at the end of the day, there's not just your free will involved. There's somebody else's as well. But at that time, I would say you will begin to really notice that energy for that is opening up in your life. There will be a lot more happening.
From what I'm sensing, I see it more as a journey, and I'd say within 2-3 years you'll get something a little bit more solid that you can actually base on, feel more secure, and develop in terms of relationship for a long term.
All right.
Next, hey, we're doing good. So
Yeah.
it's rolling.
Oh,
Here we are.
Windwalker's here. Hi, Windwalker. Sending hugs to you too.
Here's a question. Do pets stay, Patricia Hansen, do pets stay with you? We had to put our 15-year-old dog, I guess, down. Where did it go? Oh, here. Oh, here. Perfect. I've been waiting for a sign. Just need to know she is okay. Yeah, from my understanding, yes. I've communicated with the departed animals at first. To be honest, I didn't believe in it myself because I thought this Dr. Doolittle thing was like absurd. But I had a client, she was so distraught. I said, listen, I'll try, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it worked. So I would say yes in terms of that. They usually, will say stuff, and again, I don't know the whole process because I don't do it often. Maybe Matt, you've done it more often than I have.
It happens to me a lot, actually.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Normally they'll say stuff about you that nobody else will know. So I would take it that it's the same thing as a human being. They go on the other
Yeah.
side.
I would agree with that completely. Just like people, when animals pass away, they are like instantaneously at peace. They're absolutely with you. I brought animals through lots and lots and lots of times over the years, and yeah, they're no different. They're no different than any other loved ones. They're instantly good. They're always okay. They're always, I mean, they're better than okay. They're totally in a good space. And yeah, definitely still with us. Stuff definitely still helping us, guiding us, just like any other loved one. In fact, here's what I believe as a medium. So people come to people like me in LA to connect with their loved ones who have passed on and look at the future and all of that. But if the only thing that you loved in the entire world, the only loved one you had was like a potted cactus, you bet your ass it's going to come through in a reading. It will. It will. So, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think what most people need to know, and you've addressed this early on, Matt, which is brilliant, is you're not alone.
No.
View it as vibration, and it's just a different vibration. And the easiest way to see this is, and I know it sounds a bit weird, but your remote control to change the TV channels, just like infrared when you're cooking, it's just different levels of vibration or just different frequencies. And our brain, I remember speaking with Dr. Michael Persinger, who founded the Persinger Group, and he was the expert on psychic abilities and stuff like that as a neuroscientist. And I went to meet him, and I didn't know much. And he said, did you check about hertz? And I thought, why is he talking about hertz to me, a radio? And I didn't even know at the time the brain functions in hertz. So you'll see things like, binaural beats that you have on your phone that synchronize both hemispheres. So view it as hertz, like your radio station. You'll pick up on different frequencies. And recently, I was just trained by one of the researchers that does a lot on what's called remote viewing, Angela Thomas Smith, which was really cool, and to increase my own abilities. And I wanted to know, from people that had worked on the Stargate project, which is the United States government create a program for 20 million to create psychic soldiers. And I just wanted my abilities to get better, because I always, try to be better to help others at the same time. And you could see that it's just pure vibration. It's just frequencies. It's imagining you have a TV in the old days, like in my time, you had like 3 channels or whatever, black and white. Now you have HD, and you have like, 500 channels or whatever. So it's just picking up on different frequencies just by turning your attention, which would be like a dial on a radio station or a TV. So the fact that you're not seeing the parents or your friends or whoever is just because they're a different frequency. That's all. They're most of the time, either they're always there with you or they're there at specific times during the week or day. But you're not alone. It's a fallacy to believe so. Let's see here. Who else do we have? Did you find another one, Ash?
There's one here by Rosalie DeCaro. Will my family talk again? Lots of petty fights and currently have an aunt not talking to us.
I see that, yes. I see that aunt will come back in or before the month of August. But yeah, I do feel like family's going to come back together. When we get into September, things look at peace. But then November comes and I see the same aunt figure stirring the pot again. So I feel like this will be kind of a cyclical thing with that aunt. And but I see that most family will step back towards each other in a more solid way. That's what I get.
Sorry, I missed that one. Oh, here's a question here, another one. If everyone who dies, Nicole Picot, if everyone who dies is at peace, does that mean killers, child molesters, etc., are all in a happy place? Just so confused. That can be quite confusing, actually. For myself, from what I've experienced, some people that weren't at rest on this side, sometimes they're not at rest on the other side. So I've never seen a quote happy place, just to say. To me, that it all looks the same, like either a bit more gray and a little bit dark, or full of light, in which I can't see. But in that sensing, I think some people that, one of the things that I've learned through my career is to do as much good as you can and help as many people, because you'll have more people around you on the other side. And that's just my experience. It could be the way my brain sees things or able to pick up on certain frequencies, but maybe Matt, you have a different outlook.
Yeah, so I've brought through some of those spirits before in readings, who wanted to try to make amends with people on Earth and stuff like that. And from what I can see and from what Spirit has told me, is that everybody goes to a good place, but that when you're over there, there's a completely different understanding of life, like 100% different. And so, yeah, I believe that I believe everyone goes to a positive place. Everyone's at peace instantly. I don't think there's some kind of atonement process. And the way that it was explained to me is that there's a different understanding of life on the other side, and there's also a different understanding of purpose on the other side. And so, yeah, that's what I've always seen.
You remind me of, I used to have an office with a conference room here in Gatineau, like maybe 20 years ago. And I was giving a conference, and one person on the other side who used to be an alcoholic and beat the woman, which I didn't know at the time, he asked her for forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
She said no, and everybody was just like flabbergasted. And I'm like, okay, well, I said, well, you don't know her life, and it's her choice to choose that or not. But she had no problem just saying no. and the person on the other side was just, didn't feel so good about it. But again, like you mentioned, some will ask for forgiveness, understanding. I think it's important to remember that we're here to live a human experience, and that although we are judging certain things make us who we are in terms of positive psychology, building strength, skills, talents. I mean, if you look at Michael Jackson, just as I spoke of talent, he came to mind. His dad used to beat him up so badly, but Michael Jackson's Michael Jackson in terms of, I'm not saying he's the best person in the world, but look at everything that he's achieved, So in that sensing, it's important to look at it in terms of on this side, and also on the other side is another perspective from what I've seen.
Uh-oh. Someone said anything for me. Yeah, Deb. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, add bananas. They're delicious. So on that note, someone said anything for me, so I just gave them some advice.
You're funny.
That's all. So, are we doing one more, or what are we doing?
I think we're running out of time. I have somebody in a couple of minutes. How about you, Matt?
Same. Yeah, I've got to run as well.
Okay, so they're booked up because they're superstars. So we'll see you guys in either a week or 2 weeks, because we're replanning things.
Correct. We're going to create some more content, and actually, you might not want to do that. That people might think cocaine. But in any case, we're going to write down some new content for you. If there's anything you would like to know or see on the show, also, we're always looking for suggestions, anything like that, to bring to you every week. If it's readings or more in terms of metaphysical stuff or current events, just let us know what you'd like, and I'm going to leave it up to you guys. And dogs.
And dogs. All right. Well, thank you for watching, and we're going to be planning some content and new stuff for everybody. And any final words, Matt?
No.
Liar.
No, I don't know. I was thinking all morning of what can I say as my last thing. So I think it's LA's turn. LA, say something funny or weird or awkward.
Be yourself. It's the only thing you can be.
My dogs have a lot to say.
It's not even weird and awkward. That's on every journal.
I know.
It's so cheap. On Amazon.
Pickles and peanut butter. Try it.
Good.